Welcome back, everybody, to Season 3 of Pokemon Survivor. This is Episode 10, Keeping the Pace. I'm here with Yuta and our special guest, Vini. Yuta, go ahead and kick us off with this week's format.
Last week when I introduced the format, I said that I had created hell. I was very influenced by the game and the Gliscor in that game, but I have come around again to liking this format. I wanted a fast-paced format in which mons have to go in and out all the time, and you have to make important decisions. And I think that's ultimately what it ended up being. I'm fairly satisfied with it. I don't know what you thought about it, Vinny.
No, I personally liked the format. Like when I saw that it was Volturn Mayhem, I played it before as like within random battles, I believe. Like not much experience, but I know that the format is like is extremely volatile. So when I saw this, I was like at first a little bit hesitant on how it would work, but I think it ended up working out well. And obviously I'm probably like biased because I did win and I felt like I had a lot of fun with the format. But overall I think it worked out how you wanted it to. And then this is my tier list I made. I made it after playing, but when I first looked at the format, the first thing like I thought of was priority because obviously if you're going first, then you get the priority switch, so you can priority cycle someone, and that's why Locust isn't meta defining because it's just the best priority one, which I think we saw a lot in the games. Um, it the only other priority that can contest it is E-Speed, but we saw that E-Speed gets contested by Ghosts, which there's a lot of good Ghosts. Like you see three of them that I have in the meta tier. Um, and there's
Lokix
even some other
does
like decent ones.
so much damage. It's actually disgusting.
Yeah,
I was
and
fully
also
prepared to hate Gliscor, but Lokix took the spot for me.
yeah, the only mon that actually like decently deals with it or like can reliably deal with it is Gliscor. That's the only mon that, and otherwise it forces things like even I ran a slow low kicks, which let me like come in on bulkier mons and I could slow pivot out, which like it made it even more of a problem when I wasn't clicking priority. The only thing that people have been like basically it's forced people to spam protect for it. Um, because it's so obnoxious. But it gets multiple forms of priority. It even gets feint if you want to be like sneaky with it. You can run protect for other low kicks. Like, I think the only bad thing you can do with it is choice lock it. That's my personal opinion. So,
hmm
because I think choice locking is a way to lose mons in this format.
Yeah.
Another thing, then we can move on to the next tier. So we have Dragapult. Dragapult was just the fastest mon that could run a scarf in the format. So well, like fastest mon besides Beedrill, which makes it like really valuable. It has some niche priority options itself, but in general, it's really good at hitting and running, and it has like Wisp option for low kicks. It probably should run Protect in this format as well. Um, for low kicks, Torn was another mon I had my eye on. So the only regen mon, really good bulky pivot. I preferred it to Gliscor, but I can see why people like Gliscor. Um, but Torn is the best knocker in the format, I would say. So it gets rid of items easily. Icy Wind's really good but it hits Gliscor first off, but also you're slowing something speed-wise, so you can get in on them and trap it decently. Just a really reliable pivot.
Looking at
Um,
this tier list, I'm so happy I finally created a universe in which Mega God of War is actually a good mon.
yeah, I heard that when you made the format originally, that Glalie and Gardevoir were what you made it around. It was supposed to be a like merge thingy, like
Yeah,
team
that
format.
was supposed to be bonus points for these
Which
two.
the one thing I didn't even think about when I thought about this format was the fact that you could hyper beam Giga Impact out, and the only thing you can do about that is the Pokemon to the right of them, which is Mimikyu, which can tech its disguise and eject button out and trap them. Which that's not the only reason Mimikyu's good. It's just a one-time pivot into anything. So Mimikyu's extremely good. It can help a lot with low kicks. It can help a lot with any like choice mons. As priority itself. That's why it was one of the ones I ran as well because I knew it was a one-time pivot. Um, the other like meta mons we saw spam were Zoroark. Like this was a really good format for Zoroark because
Yeah,
it's set
insanely good for him.
it's set leads. Um, and like even if you like you lead it like game one for example, if it's your lead mon, you can cheese someone first game. To sure they know about it after that, but you can maybe get a game up on them or they don't know when it comes in, and it's not like you're switching into anything because it's all priority. Um, and one turn can change the game massively. I know you guys are high on Gliscor. I originally had it even lower than this, but I wasn't that high on it. Um, I think it's actually decently exploitable because people haven't been doing it well. And the sets kind of, in my opinion, just do a lot of nothing. The reason why I think it's actually pretty solid is because it can check stuff like low kicks, is really bulky and annoying, and it's one of the best protect mons. as long as you don't get punished on Protect by Encore, because if you get Encored in, you're just dead. But also because the spinners are not great, and ghosts are good, is another reason why it's really good.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
I was looking at this and going to mention. I'm happy to see him at least in meta. I am happy with that
Yeah, I moved it up
adjustment.
after
Yeah.
reconsideration. I'll try and talk about like not to go too long, a few other mons
Yeah.
that I want to talk about. But like, so I mentioned spinners. The only good, like the only actually good spinner in my opinion is Treads. The other Cinderace is a removal option. Like you can also run Defog if you want. In this format with I think either the Prankster Defoggers probably would be the best Defoggers. I'll get to them in a sec because there's a reason I have them in meta tier. Despite them not seeing usage as well, whereas the other like it's not meta as in the fact that everyone's like you've seen the most usage of it, but because if it was meta and usage, like Treads would probably go up. But I don't think Treads should be that high because it's really easy to revenge because there's enough priority, and it's like it does resist a lot, but it's also weak to quite a few common like. Um. What else is there? So I can get in quickly to why I have Whimsicott and Torn in meta. So it's because Prankster, obviously. Tor or Thundurus is specifically Thunderwave. I think is really strong when you have mons like Dragapult that can kind of own everything, and just in general the speed control. You T-Wave hit out, you can speed control everything and set up for something that like otherwise might not be great to just run the format. It has other options too, but I think we saw like Gliscor and Torn are pretty solid as pivots. I think Thundurus is a pretty solid one too, and I think it can get away with a lot. And it has other util too if it wants. Like if it can taunt if it wants, and also because the only like realistically good dark type, I mean Meowscarada is okay, but it's really just low kicks, and you can always just tech protect for low kicks. Like who cares? Whimsicott I think I personally think Thundurus is better for the speed control, but Whims has Encore, which is a really good way to shut down Gliscor. It's also got like the better immunity being the dragon immunity, which immunities are big in this format. What else is there? But Whims also has its own like tool set of moves that it can cheese with Prankster. I think there was something I saw. Oh, the one move I want to Nature Power is actually something that it allows it to actually like if you protect the first impression, you can Nature Power out on low kicks, and so not even like you're forced to Prankster or anything there, and you can also do it on Meowscarada. So Whims can be extremely hard to kill with its like tool set. So that's why I want to talk about those. There's some other interesting mons that I kind of wanted to see used.
I think this is
I'll touch on
a
them.
great roundup.
I think niche ones. Like I think there's certain offensive ones. Like I'll say Frostlass through Wake, like the Ninetales. Those ones they're all offensive with like reliable priority. It's important to have reliable priority in this format. So I like that they have Shard/Jet, and I think it allows them to function as like more reliable offensive ones compared to the ones that are relying on quick attack with all the ghosts. We saw some Screamtail usage, but I want to shout out Dash Spun because I actually think Dash might be like slightly better even. And also the mons in the tiers aren't ordered; they're in speed tier order, so it wasn't clear. Dash has a move that I've not actually seen used yet that I think could be really good, and that's a Yawn because you can slow pivot Yawn and protect, and you get a free sleep. Like I think sleep has the potential to be really strong in this format, specifically with Dash because it can also slow like Wish Pass with Roar is another like solid thing if you want to play bulkier. Probably one of the only ways to play bulkier. So I want to shout that out. Some other like niche cool mons. What are there? Killateral. I think unironically could work with be like the only Tailwind mon to work in this format besides like maybe Whims teching one as it dies. But the problem with Killa is why it's niche is because it's just not bulky enough and there's better options. It's funny how we created a format where Zama is not that good. I honestly was gonna put it in unviable. But the only reason I kept it in niche is because it's really fast and it can screen set. Unironically, is the only reason I have it there. Other niche ones, so like I mentioned, sleep. Like Lilligant with sleep could actually be decent. It's just a little bit weak to certain mons. There's even some like other decent bulky mons in this tier, like Chomp. If it wasn't like so susceptible, could be a good hazard stacker, and it has rough skin helmet to punish. Miltank has Scrappy that can be used. Stuff like that's cool. I think Moltres can like kind of function as like a bulky Roar pivot as well if it wants. Phasandipity is a decent pivot in certain mons like Bolt. It's good into a lot of the good mons in the format. There were only 5 mons that I actually deemed as like I think they're just too bad to use. And that is generally the common thing you notice about them is they're like really susceptible because specifically the UBs they're not bulky. So any physical attacker is going to own them, and they have nothing that they can do about it if the physical attacker's faster or has priority that they can't protect around. Also, just Beast Boost inherent negative synergy.
True.
Tauros like could maybe have some viability. I just felt like you can generally switch around it with its like what move it's clicking into you that time, and it's whatever. And then if it gets it wrong, you're just gonna get revenged as well, and it doesn't have priority. Shocks, I don't think is even that bad. It's just that mon is just it's dual stabs are just so potentially weak to immunities, and there's better hazard setters, there's better screen setters, everything that it could want to do something better. And then Uxie is just too weak to common stuff in this format, in my opinion. Like Zoroark, Pult, like any of the darks, leave low kicks running around. Like Uxie, like otherwise could be a decent slow pivot in this format. But it's just not bulky enough. Or it is bulky, but it's not bulky enough with its base typing because it doesn't resist anything either. That's like care about.
Start us off. We're gonna go over the elimination match from last week.
Oh yeah.
We've got LPT and Frankyirony were voted out into it. So here we go. These were the teams that they were given from. They chose one of them, and the rest were given from the rest of the survivors.
I'm gonna be a little harsh here to one Frankyirony.
I was gonna be as well.
He definitely had the best team. Like, I don't think there's any argument. His top 6 were so strong. Like, I think the Tyrantrum bring is like excusable in some cases, but why is there a Carnivine? And why like you have the Wellspring for the Blastoise, which is the only like remotely threatening mon that LPT got, which everyone knows what it does. Like, I just don't get why we don't see Clefable in either of his games. And also, you have a Terra gouging fire. Like, hello?
Yeah.
Like, banned everywhere.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say we've seen Frankie do really perform really good in this competition, but this is probably one of the weakest showings for him. No gouging, no Clefable, just really fucks him up for the rest of the game.
Like, yeah, I also, the reason why, like, I don't love the Tyrantrum bring here either, because there's multiple things standing in his way. Like, for example, the whole Chestnut, which Chestnut's always coming into his team. Like, it can maybe pressure Chestnut into, like, open up for Ogre, but, like, I still think you're gonna get way more out of Gouge. Like, look at this team and look at Gouge.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
The only one that, like, remotely checks Gouge defensively is his opposing team's win con.
Such weird choices. And that's such a crucial time.
Let's see how it played out.
So
Carnivine either gonna save me or be the reason I lose, he said.
Immediately into the Flying Terra, yep.
I think the Terra is what he doesn't really need the typing. Going hard Tyrantrum on this, just throwing it in.
As a rule, I don't like early Terras.
I don't like in this case. I don't think it's the worst because his crown doesn't really need to be a steel type here. It helps it with like it can help switch into multiple mons here by being a flying type. I do kind of think he probably should have used crown to pivot Chestnut there though, but the Zoroark dodging is really big. The T wave. Bro, I don't know why. Like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not ruining the immersion. I was about to say something though. Okay, we see this is a really big turn where he gets the Terra off to live and Blim pop procs.
Yeah, that was a big Terra.
And now Blim is in a spot where he just gets a free turn. And offensively,
first Blim is a menace.
Offensively, it's really good into Frankie's team. This I think isn't this the Zoroark? Yeah, it's just dead. Okay, he's going for the flinches. I respect it. Unfortunately for you, that crown can only run 20 IVs in attack. But it dies anyways, and he goes to the flinch again.
Gets the kill off.
Now Toxicroak gets in for free and revenges it with Sucker. Is that banded damage? I think it might. Oh yeah, oh my god, like, I'm just looking at Frankie, like, he literally can set up spam, so he has, like, some of the best setup mods in the game. Like, even if you don't like Clefable, just bring Screen Clefable into set up Mega Gallade, set up Ogre Pod, set up crown set up terra gouging. Oh my god. And here's the Carnivine that came. What's it gonna do? This guy decided that like it does nothing to Chestnut, which we knew Chestnut was always coming here, because it's the Ogrepon answer. It's also the type. It's also like Chestnut's just eating up the Mega Gallade like it's nothing.
I do think when Frankie hits, he hits big, but when he misses,
like you see how bad Blastoise is really bad into Ogre. Like it's really bad, and that was LPT's best mon.
He puts up a decent showing here, but
no, I do think the double out there was good because on LPT's end, LPT always switches to what's his face there.
That was a good,
well.
that was a good move right there, at least.
But it only has, but I don't think he should U-turn, right? Because it dies here. No, it doesn't die. No, it's fine anyway. I think I think the plays in this end game, like Frankie's winning out the plays, but he still just loses Mons-wise because Scarflagon.
Yeah, he played really well at the end, but
I don't get the Ogepon set, trying to set up and then U-turning out.
Yeah,
yeah, the Scarflagon.
I would have rather seen a play off instead of U-turn, maybe, or something like that.
I mean, even Zen into it's probably would be Zen into Toxicroak, like unironically, because Toxicroak can wall it.
All right, game 1 for LPT. We go into game 2 to see who's eliminated. It did get close. Like we said, he made good plays at the end, but yeah, the lineup just could have been a better lineup. But now the
Flagon like immediately is getting chip on the. Does that Ogrepon have? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't have Spiky. That's kind of its 4 moves. But you see, like, now like he gets nothing for that Ogrepon, and now we're like, sure we're swapping the Leech Seed, but what's Carnivine doing? Well, it's getting a choice band, I think, right? I don't know. Like, I'm surprised that LPT even swapped there. You could just attack for free. But you see, this is where Toxicroak's like actually kind of annoying for this team. Like, he does have the Zoroark, but like, you see when he, like, without the resist, and he just loses his Carnivine. Like, this Carnivine did nothing at the game. And now he went Zoroark, but he has no, which he wisps to cover the sucker, but he's not going to sucker it. And now he goes into the real Tyrantrum. And
the miss.
Misses. I don't know. I don't think the damage comes into play later. I don't think it does, but Tyrantrum gets the Toxic. And now he gets
fairly annoying.
He knows that it's not great, but he's choiced. And was he afraid that, like, I think that was a weird play by LPT because he's just making a select. He's not assuming that it's but it's good for Frankie to not proc the Key Berry and give it Unburden and just go into the Zoroark instead. Now he gets Keys out. They go Chestnut. But the thing is, this Tyrantrum can never break Chestnut, especially as a choice set. I think realistically that also, like, the Ogrepon does nothing back, so that crit is like also And now Flygon's back, but it overpredicts because I think, is Terra spent or not? I forget. I don't think it is on Frankie's side.
I don't think
so
it is.
He covers. He's trying to bait out. He tried to bait out a Terra there and go into Keys after.
Yeah, he hadn't used it.
And Blastoise is just getting thrown away.
Yeah. Tell you what, Tyrantrum actually did more work than I think we expected.
No, Tyrantrum actually was decent into me as well.
Yeah. But definitely should have swapped that Carnivine.
I don't hate Tyrantrum bringing at the end of the day because it's something, like, I don't think it's great in this matchup, but at the end of the day it did do something. The mon that I had the biggest problem with is obviously the Carnivine because he was given the Carnivine to, like, screw him over and then he willingly brought it.
Yeah.
And we see here it does nothing and not enough in the tank. Against the Chestnut, once again.
Not enough.
The Chestnut is the problem in both games. Well, in the end it was the Scarflagon, but this time the Chestnut was still annoying.
Again, it came close. He plays good at the end.
I think he's played that well, and if he had all the tools that he had in his toolbox, he might have won.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very frustrating to think about.
Yeah. So I mean, good showing on the field, but he needed to cook a little more.
Sadly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I actually think if like Frankie came into this with more balanced prep, like if he just brought his best six, I think like just mon strength wise, like he was playing like at worst on par with LPT, and his mon strength would have been stronger, and I think it could have like given him the edge there.
Definitely.
So we will get started with our first match of the week, and it will end up being Sandal versus our guest player of the week, Boniour. And
Boniour, that's how you pronounce that.
I'm hey, don't take my pronunciation.
Or is it Bonnoir? I don't know.
Don't
Bonjour. I think that's how
Bonjour.
Point Blank says it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I might be close, but I mean, don't take my pronunciations. So this was our first match of the week. It was on short notice, so these two teams were were made up within hours or so of seeing the format, I think. So
Yeah, around that.
So they got a very quick look and got right to it. So let's see how it played out. And in this format, we didn't really mention it, but there was no team preview. So you have no idea.
Yeah, it completely changes. It's such a volatile format.
Yeah, you had no idea who the other team had until they came out, and the first person came out immediately.
Looks like Scarf Torn, notably. So Sandal, we saw brought a terrain team, and I think this was before I think we saw like low kicks priority getting spammed. I do think Sandal did have a low kick, so I'm correct. But I think Sandal had a pretty solid grasp on the format for going first. I will say that because he even had the quick attack Gliscor, and we saw Gliscor get brought up too much. I think, unironically, I might have been one of the only people who didn't bring it.
He might have been part of the reason why too.
Yeah, and he had the Terra Torn, which also really strong, and I was also like probably expecting to Terra my Torn a lot, and then Helmet Treads is something I brought too. But Treads, I mean, you'll see here where Treads is susceptible to getting revenge, like I said. I do think Treads like should realistically have more consistency with the Coco team, but he's into an opposing Coco team that also has the Boulder, which outspeeds it. And then we see another Hyper Beam spammer. Thunderous is an interesting choice of Hyper Beamer, and then you see him punish that with the Pult immunity.
Having that ghost immunities.
And he's choice, so he can't do anything.
Checking to see if you're locked. If it's locked.
And you notice how much the normal immunity helps, where like if Boniour had a normal immunity, he would have been able to maybe play this game, but also the normal immunity on the other side is completely screwing him, and also the protect spam is really strong in this case. I know you guys are high on Monkey too. I think Monkey could work if ghosts weren't so like it's still not bad. It's just it needs to be careful that it's using its priority into the right mon. Like it's not running into a ghost and it's not running into low kicks.
I was never really high on him. It was just the fact that he had the fake out capability gave him that possible bring.
But you see, even like it's just doing nothing but this Gliscor. This Gliscor doesn't care.
No, Sandal, like Yuta said, built really well for having just seen the format.
I think Boniour himself said that he really hadn't considered how Gliscor could be so annoying, and so he wasn't really ready for it.
Then after that, everybody had to at least bring something that would check it.
Definitely.
Also, not revealing mons in this format. For example, like Sandal, I don't think reveals his last mon in this game, which is really important. And then also you have to consider like lead dynamics as well going into the next game. Like you have to win 2 games in these formats in Merge, which changes things a lot. And now he brings out his Torn, and Torn cleans because another choice mon it looks like, or was he fake, or is he just slower Torn? No, he's Scarf fake out. But like, so you see how susceptible that can be if that fails. Yeah. Scarf fake out.
No, it happened quite a bit.
And this is also a banded low kicks. It looks like, which, like, that's also really.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And that's what the danger is of going first, especially so early. But theirs was for certain reasons they had to play early. But you don't know exactly how the format's going to play out until it happens.
Yeah, Bon also didn't have the stakes, but like, if he was in the game, I think people might have targeted him after that, throw him in the Elim.
I
Didn't
mean,
he, I saw,
yeah.
didn't he get 7 in his first season?
7 or 8, I don't
7th.
remember.
Yeah.
7th.
He might have got the same placement if he was on the season. Okay, see, this time this is the other mon. So this is Sandal's last mon. He revealed
Yeah.
the scream. But this time you already see the position is a lot better. I'm surprised by the fake out there. You had a pretty free sludge because Scream isn't faster and can't do anything. So maybe he just wanted to scout. Yeah, so Roar's a really good. Like, a lot of people want to do like fast priority to be able to fast pivot and kind of run that, but Roar on a bulky mon can slow pivot you.
Yeah,
especially when he brought Hazard stack, you can take advantage of it a lot.
Yeah, getting a slow pivot in this format is a lot stronger than I realized it would be too.
And you see what your opponent gets brought in, so you straight up can't like.
Yeah.
Like, and you can potentially trap them based on what gets brought in.
Yeah, no, it does
also,
work.
Something I didn't think about with Boulder as well is that it has Cleave, which is not blocked by Protect, which in this format is pretty solid. And Boulder itself has priority plus works with the Coco team.
Well,
so
that we didn't mention either, but Dragapult has Infiltrator as well.
That is true. But Info is just sub.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, is it just for sub?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that one was for Protect
it's not
as well.
bypassing Protect.
I think people are underusing priority. I think
insane.
people are underusing priority on Dragapult for sure. But you see, even in this game, you can't force chip on the Gliscor. It's just being a pain in the ass, and the Boulder can't come in enough to kill everything on its own. And look at the rest of this team. How does this team kill the Gliscor otherwise? Monkey Dory Psyshock. The Thundurus is Hyper Beam, and he has Protect Gliscor with the priority. And the Coco we saw doesn't look like it has much to hit it either. So it actually doesn't even matter if he just lets the rest of his team die, because he also has an eject button on the Coco to get the free Boulder. Which, items like that, and I saw red card Mimikyu come as well. I liked the red card on it as well. I think eject is probably slightly better, but there are niches to things. And now you see us just slam the Boulder into the Gliscor, and Gliscor just doesn't really care.
I thought this game was gonna get into Zoroark territory, and it's gonna get a whole lot more confusing.
And it looks like you see the Coco doesn't have any way to touch it, which is not
very. Yeah, it was.
Oh, is this the moment?
Oh yeah, you can put that on screen.
Okay. All right, everyone, quiet, and just watch the beauty.
This was what made me think that the format was maybe not a good idea.
Well, I also think even if you look at the Gliscor set, the Gliscor set, this one as well, is flawed because it is quick attack only move, so it should be knockoff, which everyone else has been running since. But this Gliscor could just be trapped. I mean, it partially doesn't care because it's just gonna sit there and hazard stack anyways, but still, it's something to consider. Especially if there's like a ghost type that can trap you in.
And the Hazard is doing so much damage.
And then we see the voltage strat with Coco as well. The low kicks doesn't have enough in the tank to get through, I don't think. Unless it just leech life spam. And the Gliscor looks like it just wants to PP stall it. Or not PP, but like force it to keep switching it on hazards. Doesn't care.
This is all it needs to do.
So you see he's locking into Thunder Wave, so he's trying to call out, but you can't predict the protect, you just have to attack. But either way, he was screwed there because if he hyper beams on the protect, he has a pult in the back. For example, like if he had brought HP Ice on the set, there's like more openings.
Yeah, another bit of this.
No, this is correct for Sandal. Letting something get parried is a way that you can actually lose this game. Even though Gliscor probably wins in every...
If you're considering applying for Season 4, please do not take this exchange into account.
No, this is like the most volatile fast format ever, and it's gone so...
I swear the other games are much funnier.
They are.
It does so much damage.
The rest of
Mhm.
them went a lot faster, but it's funny. In
And
this chat, I mentioned to you that it was a slow game early on, not even meaning how many turns it was, and he was like, it's a 15 turn, that's not too long. And we ended up at 77 turns.
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So, after 2 games, Sandal took it. And that was the
And
start.
notably, that is a big win because he's the person playing the outsider, so that leaves only 3 people that can be voted.
Yep,
on the
so
odd-numbered
only
weeks.
3 people will be able to be voted. And here as well, it gave the start of what the metas kind of started looking like. But for game 2, Omega and Blue were up. So let's see how they took that meta and twisted it.
There's good old low kicks, which immediately so when we saw this, like when you see the lead is low kicks versus Pult, it turns it straight up into a full 50-50 off lead right off the rip every game, which always favors the low kicks. Like we see Blue got it wrong this game by suckering and he's choiced, but as you'll see in the future, like not this, but like the thing just clicks first impression, and because if the Pult doesn't have tact, the the low kicks just hard wins the exchange. Which at this point, Pults weren't running Protect, which they should. I don't even think I've seen one. They should be though. Like you think the Pult's scared of Sucker until you see the first impression like 2 a KO with, like.
And this
But
was
yeah,
just
this right here is why I'm like I
there's
don't love banded.
struggle.
I don't love banded low kicks, and it struggles itself out.
Yeah.
And now we have Gliscor v Gliscor.
And now the Pult doesn't need to worry about Sucker Punch.
And shout out the Big Brother nicknames. Yeah, wait, can I give Big Brother spoilers from last night?
I mean, I don't think the two of us mind, so you do what you want with that.
Bye bye, Zay. I'm glad he went up. Anyways, you saw there another Treads that is susceptible to just being outsped and caught momentum on it, and that's a huge problem.
Ooh, and the Hyper Beam miss was just.
Yeah, it was real. That was not great. Like.
I did a few mock battles, and it was really fun because it happened like 2 or 3 times that our 2 leads were both Gliscor, and so I was like left with the 50-50 of like, am I faster or not? Am I using Protect or am I trying to knock off the Toxic Orb?
Like Arcanine on paper as a mon, I thought would be really strong because it's got the E speed, it's got recovery that it can force itself to stay in, and it's got Roar as well if it really wants to pivot out. So it has options. And we see that ends up the Ogerpon gets justice by dodging back. So valid, but at this point the game is pretty locked for Omega because the Pult is Scarf, I believe. So it outspeeds the entire team, and we don't know what the last one is, but the Ogerpon's not a mon, and it beats the opposing Pult. So he knows he's good. And there is the Kartana coming out, which shows that it's very likely to just be a Pult win here. But we could have clicked Vacuum Wave, but
yeah, that's what I was saying in the chat. I was so disappointed because I was so happy that it got Vacuum Wave and that it was viable because of it.
And you see here, he throws in Gliscor, whatever, it doesn't matter because the Pult just comes in for free.
Yeah.
And Blue didn't know that it had Vacuum Wave, so it would have been really decisive there.
Yeah. It didn't end up mattering this game, but not optimally. But you see, this game, I felt this series really showed the power of Pult to me.
Yeah.
Which we'll see in later games as well. But if Pult is not prepped around correctly, and I even think Pult can prep around like low kicks, and if any mon was to, like, in my opinion, go up to the top tier, it might be just be Pult because of its speed and its flexibility and its sets that it has to.
And see,
like Pult if it's built right, beats low kicks in this format.
I want to say real quick too. This is a testimony to how much everybody that's still in it has gotten good at building on these formats following fights. This is just game 2, and we already had a close game with that one. So
And the ogre that blue used was another mon that I saw that I was like, I want to use that mon, and then
yeah, so the building talent has gotten really good in the pool that we got currently. So on to game 2. Blue had Omega had game 1.
But notably, now we see this exchange again, where he knows it's likely
Yeah.
Scarf Pult, not Protect, and so he just gets to click First Impression and chunk the Pult. And it clicks
He went
Wisp,
for
so
the-
it loses,
yeah.
so now it's just dead. Which, on the side of Omega, like, the fear of getting suckered is there, but it's always going to First Impression, so you have to click the other move. But this time we see, I believe it's a non-quick attack list score. So the Torn with the Icy Wind gets in on it for free. Big.
Yeah, that was a good counter for it for sure. He was probably the best one to bring for it. Although we do see another one later that was pretty surprising.
And we see Pult is problematic. I do think that the thing with Gliscor is that its set flexibility is just so like you have to run Knock, Protect, Quick Attack, and probably a Hazard to get the most out of it. And here he lets it get knocked off, which is really bad. Because Gliscor now can't stall out this whole team, and now he's just getting cycled by Dragapult. Because he doesn't have immunities for any of these, and you can't use priority on it. And then Torn misses here, which probably, I think seals this game for me, because now the Pulse gets in and can get a kill. Which, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it doesn't miss here, I don't think. It misses somewhere at some point, I remember. It missed in the first game, but I think it misses again. Big low kicks doing 44 to the week 1 HOH, Vince. And we see the Wisp clicked, which...
Omega really put stock in Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah. To be frank, there aren't a lot of crazy good fire types, but like, you also don't need it. So this time he clicks Vacuum, maybe it drops. That crit I don't think it mattered, it's a Cortana.
I forgot I brought it.
Yeah. And this time
I
we
was
see
so surprised to see it.
the Terra Treads, which you actually didn't need, but Terra Treads I felt like actually did need Terra a lot when I played with it as well, because it's just so susceptible to things that are faster than it that can hit it super effectively. But we see Pult isn't...
I have to say it, but I mocked with Omega and I brought Mega Gardevoir with Vacuum Waves. Vacuum Waves, so he knew about it. He got the idea off of me.
Me personally, I was excited to use the Glalie instead.
All right, and then we had a game 3 with Blue taking that one pretty handedly.
First game 3 in a long time, by the way.
Honestly.
Because we hadn't gotten one last week.
It was nice to see. All right, on to game 3, and let's see who took the week.
So once again, another unfortunate lead. the being stuck into the lead is probably one of the worst parts of this format because you do learn teams. So that's a really bad crit. Like, Pult in this game, it's still going to be rough if he gets hazards up, because Pult is just going to suffer. But we see how the adaptations come into this game. Omega didn't have to Terra, but he chose to Terra and got crit. So either way, he was screwed. He lost his Terra at the same time. And now we see Gardevoir gets cooked out of this whole exchange, and the Terra goes.
And a really good Terra from Blue. The Terra on Gliscor was a good idea.
Yeah, Terra Ghost is really strong. And he doesn't have, so Omega doesn't have his Ghost type anymore. So he's kind of at mercy of low kicks here, which also chose to run Impact and miss.
Double missing when he was vulnerable is crazy.
The timing is awful.
That's insane.
Now it hit, but now this is a dead Treads. So
yeah,
he's no Terra. Treads is dead. Goodbye.
Yeah, starting out with a slower Mon seemed like it could have really been the way to go, too.
Well, you just need to start out with something that is not just gonna die to a low kicks.
Yeah,
like,
that too.
That's why my lead was Torn, because there's really nothing in the format that can one-shot Torn besides like maybe a Coco, but at worst you have Terra.
Another crit.
Yeah, this game was messy. I do think in the long haul it generally will always favor Blue this matchup because of the lead being so skewed and the opposing Pult is so problematic. Like, you look at all of Omega's priority, he has Quick Attack, Vacuum Wave, and E-Speed. So none of it can hit Pult. And there's only one Mon on his team that's faster than Pult.
Miss another Giga Impact.
That 90 accuracy is really screwing up.
But Pult gets back in off of that, so it doesn't really even matter. Because Torn can't do anything about it. I think Omega had to go K9 there, but it doesn't really win him the game, no matter what he does. I think he had to get a dodge regardless of what he did. Because if Torn's full, it can take one, and then it has a chance to win. So I guess going Torn is correct to get the gen. But now it's the Zoroark.
Yeah, with the Zoroark too. That was a fun game to watch, though. And that,
just
to what you were saying earlier, showed us how this format was able to be fun. All right, on to the next one. We've got Vini here with us versus Killateral.
I'll give insight to what I was thinking. If I remember, I should remember.
Here we go with the.
This was like what, 2 days ago?
Yeah, it was recent.
I know he randomly showed up and we just played.
Yeah, no, that's how it seemed like most of the matches.
3 games were done by the midweek.
Yeah.
Before the Elimination match. I mean, I guess we're in correct order still.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. All right, so here's the behind-the-scenes play-by-play.
So like I said, I have my Torn lead, which is just safe in general. I click Knock, and the off chance it's not Protect, but it's obviously Protect. And then now I have no reason not to click Icy Wind. Which in this case, he gets rocks off it, which is whatever. He quick attacks out. Also whatever. But right off the bat, we see now he brings the Gardevoir in. So in fact, it's actually not great. Like, he saves his Gliscor HP, but now his Gardevoir is susceptible. And I bring in Treads, and I do Terra because I don't want it to get out from Vacuum Wave. So I want this Gardevoir dead. Because my goal in this format is always to trade up. And I rocks because I think if he's going to Vacuum Wave, I get free rocks, and then I kill it the next turn. Now I bring out my low kicks because low kicks is the guy. Notably, my low kicks is not choice. And it's also slow, so you'll see my low kicks is slower than Gliscor. Which lets me slow pivot out on it, and I hit the mon that's coming in.
And
so now,
shit ton of
now
damage.
instead of your Gliscor taking like 20%, your Zygarde took 66. And now I bring in my Treads. Which takes the banded hit. Helmet so works out, and I get a free spin, I believe, here. Yeah. I get rid of the hazards, because my team is so weak to hazards, but I knew that I was just going to spin them, so I was fine with it. And I don't know why I decided to go back into low kicks here even. I just instinctively clicked low kicks, because I'm like, it's free, and then I get Treads back in, but he can screw me in this sequence if he wants.
Low kick's so strong, it becomes an instinct to click on it.
Yeah, I should have went to something else there, but he, probably Torn, and then, but here, he could just reset rocks if he wants, and he's gets the rocks back up and I can't stop it, but he doesn't. And here's Glalie, big Glalie. I was a fan of Glalie because obviously it's priority, it's really strong. I originally had hazards on it too. It was like a slow hazard setter. Not slow, but if I wanted to not switch out. Here I go Treads because I'm like, okay, let's see if he's choiced or not, and he reveals not choiced. And I get Chip anyways, and I know it's good for my positioning. Probably bring, now he's Gliscor, so I probably bring Torn or Glalie out. Again, I think Glalie, right? Yeah, Glalie. So I'm like, okay, your quick attack, I'm sharding you, getting my damage, and getting out. And I have a Ghost, so I can stop him quick attacking out. And then my Mimikyu gets a little bit of chip, and I believe I go back and I go low kicks because I don't want to get knocked on anything. Was why I went low kicks, which I could have just went Glalie there again. It's probably better. Because low kicks doesn't put enough pressure on Gliscor. But now he loses his Zygarde. And I go Mimikyu because there's not really anything that cares. Mimikyu at worst, if it wants to get out, can always click priority, which you'll see my priority later. But if he goes Gliscor, it doesn't give it free healing, was my whole goal. I just click Nightshade on it. And I don't care if Mimikyu gets chipped by the hazards either. At this point, I'm just going low kicks because I'm like, I get free leech lives. Or I get free clicks, even if I take damage, so I don't really care about its HP as much as I care about Glalie HP. I go Mimikyu here because Dragapult, my team doesn't really have any switch-ins to it. So I decide I'm just going to go Mimikyu, I'm going to get the free eject button, and then get the kill on the Bolt if it attacks me with an offensive move. Which it doesn't, so it survives another day. So Mimikyu gets back in and gets Gliscor damage, I go back to low kicks. Which once again, notably it's out of Rock's range, so it gets 2 free clicks. Now it gets out on Cortana, bye-bye Cortana. I go back to Mimikyu because once again, if he attacks it, it's a free trap kill. He can't go Gliscor on it, which Gliscor's dead to rocks anyways. And now I know this is a Zoroark, so I let my button proc by clicking T-Wave here, in case he clicks something random. But now I get a free Torn in, which my Torn is not Boots, it's AV. So I get a knock, and I also went into this because I was like, I wanted to scout his item for the next game on the Zoroark. And I knew that I had the win, so I'm like, I'm gonna scout your item. Then I go sack the Mimikyu. And I believe I just go Glalie and win now, yeah.
Yeah, ice was really big here to stop a lot of the big threats.
Yeah, there is a bit of ice coverage in the meta, but you have to make sure you bring it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely.
But even then, the special attackers are pretty like strong into Gliscor. The main thing is that Gliscor can get out on a lot of attackers with quick attack, but if it's not a ghost type or it doesn't Terra Ghost, but it isn't able to get out on Glalie without taking chip if it doesn't Terra.
Yeah, no, ice was definitely a big bring.
The other good thing is like so with like versus Gliscor, if you have mons like that, you can choose whether you want damage on it or not because it has to switch out on you. It has to quick attack out on a Glalie. So I can be like, do I want the half damage with my shard, or do I want to just derail you with a like any move?
Yeah, it's an interesting mindset not being able to switch out and having to attack first to do so. All right, on to game 2.
Yeah, because a lot of times you're only worried about the mon that you have in, but you have to worry about what you're bringing in as well. So once again, I make the same play because for me, like on both of our ends, it's just a correct play to click these moves. This time I hit, so I get Gliscor damage right off the bat, and I go Glalie instantly because I know his moves, and I know he can't really do anything, and worst case, I just shard out. I think I go Mimikyu, so I straight up just go for my eject early because, like, I didn't really care at this point. I knew it wasn't Scarf, so I didn't want to go into my Treads, or I also didn't want to go hard Ogre for whatever reason. And then I revealed the Baby Doll Eyes because I wanted to click it. I was Iron Tail's Torn. I thought about Terroring it this turn, but good thing I didn't, because Zoroark. And I just kept on throwing Mimikyu in, which I know he was surprised by, but to me, I was just fine taking any kill I could get. And then I pivot low kicks because it's my only resist to Ghost, so I want to take a little damage.
Funnily enough, Katana does get Vacuum Wave to pivot up quickly.
Yes. I
don't know if I don't think this one has it, but
no, it definitely didn't. So now I get Glalie back, and I don't care about taking the rocks because it forces Gliscor, or I can hit whatever switches in because I don't think he has a resist. But I still take my Gliscor damage and I put it low. And this time I go Tread, so I go Treads because I have Helmet, which means that it just dies, no matter what I clicked. So I was like, I'm fine sacking my Treads there. I didn't calc. If I calced, I probably would not have Terra'd here. Also, my click here was really risky. Like, I probably should not click Spin, because if he goes Zoroark, like, I can Spin if I don't Terra, but Terraing and Spinning is just a really risky play, but it worked out. And then I get a free Kartana kill out of it. Like, I think that was a really greedy play by me that could have been punished. But it didn't. Now I know this is the real... It's the real Gardevoir.
You got almost what you wanted. You got a Gardevoir versus Glalie out of it, too.
Yeah. So this time now, I wasn't even thinking about Hyper Beam. I don't even know if I was thinking about it at this point, but regardless, I was going into my Mimikyu to sack the hit and kill Gardevoir. But this is the one downside of Hyper Beam and Giga Impact, is it's mostly Mimikyu that can punish it. But yeah. Like, for example, if I had saved the Terra, when the guard was out, I would have just Terra'd my Torn versus it, and if my Iron Tail hits, which it did, I'm just going to kill the Gardevoir. Then I go back to Mimikyu because I want to slow pivot on either Mon. Well, actually, I went fast pivot, never mind. Because for some reason in my head, I was just like, oh, I have a flying type, where's a ground type? And then I was also forgot about and then I also was just like, oh, yeah, Pulse comes in after, but I'm AV, so it doesn't matter. And then I Icy win this turn to predict the Zygarde coming back out because he has to attack me. So I'm like, I'm going to take my kill. And then I go low kicks, I believe, because it should be faster than... And my low kicks is mid speed, so you can see it's outsped, but it doesn't matter because I hit the Pult. And now Glalie once again cleans up. My cleaner. Notably, my Glalie... Well, actually, I mimicked it, so it's good. But my Glalie didn't have Giga, because I didn't think about that. It had Return.
Oh.
Yeah, that was...
I didn't reveal that, I realized. No, it was Earthquake, Protect, Return moves.
Yeah, you probably had the best non-Dragapult team. And Gliscor.
Yeah.
those two.
Thank you. Like, if I made another team, I would, like, honestly, I would probably use everything here but Ogre Bond again. Like, I think they were also, like, there was a few mons I wanted to use differently now, but, like, I liked all the other mons that I used. I mean, I don't love Treads either. Like, maybe I would try Cinderace, because I didn't have a hazard-focused team, so I could just core change. Like, I think I would probably try Cinderace over Treads, Ogre, something like that. And another mon. Like, I would maybe, like, honestly, I'd probably go, like, Cinderace and, like, high-key, like, Walking Wake. I want to try it. Like, I think that mon could be kind of shiesty in this format.
All right, our last match of the week is LPT versus Gamertag. Let's see it.
I will also say, I think my win versus Killa was big, because I think the loser of our match I was expecting to go in.
Yeah, it definitely was a big one, I'd say, as well.
So we see, like, Gliscor Protect, like, not able to be punished easily. But we see another Ghost Treads. Treads, I think, actually Terran so much, and Terran Ghost, like, every time. It's kind of funny. We see another Mimikyu bring. I think this one was red card, pretty sure, right? Yeah. Which, throwing it into the Gliscor is a little crazy. You know, you're taking my tech there, LPT. Oh. Gliscor good in the boulder, but free Pult. I'm pretty sure Pult kills if it's boosting in any way. Yeah, goodbye Gliscor.
Yeah, unless, yeah, there's no way to get out of that.
Yeah, I prefer Lorb to, like, any choice item. Like, I think it's better. If I brought a Pult, I would go, like... My set, I don't think would be, like any of these other... You see a Terra Gliscor this time to call out the Spinner. And Terra Gliscor itself looks really annoying for this team, because only Treads can actually, like, do damage from what he's revealed so far. Scream comes in. I believe this is a Roar Scream Tail, right? Yeah. So slow Roar gets low kicks out, low kicks versus low kicks. And the other one
Gamer got that one, yep.
So this is why I also think low kicks should run Protect, is for opposing low kicks. I mean, I get going for the speed die, but... Now he's just trying to spin on it, but if you spin on it, this Gliscor is not going anywhere. It can just reset the hazards if it wants, but it's a safe play as not to. Now Mimikyu is dead. Well, it's not dead because it should have Sneak. Yeah. Well, it's Overwork. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is this game was quite one-sided.
We haven't seen LPT's last mon yet, but I think his team is suffering from having nothing to.
Yeah, because you see, it's Terran. Look at his team, and look at, like, the Gliscor does not take damage from anything when it's Terran, because the most damage you can do with it is a Bulldoze, which I like the Bulldoze tech, but when you're trying to kill a Steel Gliscor, it's not good enough.
Yeah, the Steel Terra was great for it here.
And you see that Lokix is banded. I think, like, actually, like, item scouting is really good in this form, or, like, really strong, and, like, preserving your last mon without, like, showing it. We saw it happen multiple times. And this guy just says, I'm not clicking Shadow Ball, I'm clicking Draco.
With no downside to it.
And does the Gliscor is gonna protect anyway? Oh no, he
and
just
the
lives.
Bulldoze,
Okay,
yeah, and the Bulldoze doesn't even
okay,
kill.
revealing Roost there is a little, come on, get that optimal line in. And he kills. Does not lose a mon.
Yeah, went 6-0 in that game for Gamer. And we move on to the last game of the week. Here we go.
It's kind of the same situation as Boniour. I think you're not killing the Gliscor, so it's going to be really hard to...
Yeah, you see, like, for example, we had the multiple more passive leads, so we had the Lokix and the Pult, but now we have these leads of Mimikyu into Gliscor and Torn into Gliscor, where you see, like, the moves they're clicking the first turns are the same, because they just don't have any better plays than to click those moves. And the Protect Gliscor is just a really safe on lead, as long as you don't get, like, Ankra trapped, which if there's something scary on lead, you can always just
Was this where it was?
Oh, so he did have Shadow Ball, he just didn't click it versus Treads for some reason.
Yeah, this, I think, is where I got surprised. Yep, there we go. The Ice Beam Scream Tail was nice for this.
I do think the ultimate, like, I think losing Scream Tail there is, I mean, his Lokix
and he got the speed tie.
The thing is, it works out for him, but he loses his his Screamtail, which I mean it's not great into any like it's a Roark and a Pult, so it's like who cares. But you see a guard pivot on the knockoff, but now Gardevoir with tinted lens, terrifying, especially because it just dies. Oh, it just ate. Because I think that was a bulkier Gardevoir too. Yeah, I do also. My other take is that I think bulky Gardevoir is like must bring or not must bring. Like if you're bringing it, it needs to be that because it's just there's so many mons faster than it, and especially physical attackers in the priority, which like you can run protect for it, but you just need it to be bulky.
My Gardevoir was
There's
not
the red card
bulky
working
enough.
again.
And
That
I
was a
realized it
perfect
while
red
watching the
card.
battles.
Yeah, it pulls out the money one, so now he has Boulder, Zoroark, and Gardevoir left, which he sends out Torn with Boulder being one of the mons left, so that's not great. He loses the mon right away. And now Screamtail's also gonna die for just a wish. So like LPT loses his whole advantage there because he sent out the wrong mon. Like if he sends out Low Kick, which actually was Low Kick's the mon that got the kill. No, it wasn't. So he could have just sent out Low Kicks and got a free hit, and then sack Screamtail, get another hit. But he sent out Torn. Like I think that's like the slight mismanagement of what he brought in has now led it to Gamer or is back in the lead in this game. Even though he has two mons that are low, it doesn't matter. Which the Gliscor does pick this one up, and now he has Low Kicks out. All Low Kicks can do is kill the Zoroark, and now we have the Boulder left. So LPT brings it back. But the issue is that you can't protect versus the Iron Boulder, so if you don't kill it yourself, and he still has Terra, so it's going to do enough damage in 2 hits. And he spikes, because I don't think he has any hit. Which I think LPT could have won this game, he just slightly mismanaged. Which you see now, Low Kicks, does another damage to kill him. He could die.
Yep, it was close, but Gamertag pulled it out with the Iron Boulder. It was well played by him.
My take is I do think if it went to Game 3, that I do still think Gamer's favored. I think LPT had a lot go his way that game. Like, not even luck, like, he revealed the Ice Beam, he got the play rough into the Pult. Like, if Pult is around, that game is so hard. Off the red card, so, like, he did get himself into a position to win that, and then couldn't get it out.
Yeah, that red card play was awesome. I'm definitely going to have to make a clip out of that. Yeah. All right. So So here we are with the results for the week. We've got Frankie having been eliminated from last week, and that puts him at, is that what, 8th?
8th.
8th
Top
place.
First top
Respectable. Half. Top half now.
I mean, if there was a jury, he would be second jury. behind his bestie Omari. Oh god.
So hey, I mean, top half in this is really good. So congrats, Frankie, being our first one in the top half.
We have Blue being on a comeback run.
We do, for real. So let's go over this week's wins and losses. We've got Blue with his win this week, as you just mentioned,
2 in a
still
row.
winning 2 in a row now.
He beat what, LPT one of the weeks? I forget who he beat the other week.
This week it was
He beat Omega this week.
It was Omega and LPT. Yeah. He beat both. Yeah.
And then we got Gamertag winning, and then our top 2 on the scoreboard, Vini right here, pulling up number 1, and Sandaltheshoe number 2. So that means that Killateral, Omega, and LPT are up for elimination this week.
Yeah,
we'll be getting those votes in.
3 names and only 2 can go in.
Yep. That's where we are now. From this point on, that's how the eliminations are gonna be. The last eliminations are gonna be only 3 people up to vote. So
is that how? Wait, can't Final 5
possible?
Final 5 can be a forced elim, right?
Yep, it's even possible that the very last format, if the odd one out wins his game, ends up being the 2 that lost their game being in the elimination battle without any vote. Yeah, being the only 2 being available to be voted.
Yep.
So winning your week is extremely important now, more than
also
ever.
later you get into this game, the more it actually matters, like who's playing who and who you want, like who wins what match for depending on what your plans are. And
yes, absolutely.
Especially in the final 5, like the final 5 is when it's going to matter the most, when you're straight up there's potentially a forced elim match.
Yeah, so we'll see who gets voted off next week. But for now, we'll move on to the format. We'll start off with the format in large. So we are on episode 11, Jackpot at Malville Casino. Yuta, why don't you go ahead
The
and get into
budget.
this
Oh,
one? This one is very unique, even by our standards.
First of all, I want to address the elephant in the room. Yes, Marvel Casino is not Hoenn. There is a complete something is really strange there. That's not what I wanted to do in the beginning. I was looking for a Pokemon Casino. I thought that Marvel Casino was in Hoenn, and so I just chose the pretty much the Hoenn Pokédex. And let's just say that when you realize that you were wrong after you've published the format, as someone said, someone should have gotten fired over this. So I'll just fire myself. Goodbye.
dude, yeah. Like the first thing I noticed is the sheer amount of mons. It looks like there's like 70 or 80. I think like 80-ish, maybe even more.
There's a
Because
lot more months than usual.
you know, there's 12. There's 96 mons, I think, because there's 12 by 8.
There's
So that's
almost a whole Pokédex for this
yeah, almost
generation.
100 mons.
It's just missing a few of them.
We're like we've
Uh,
seen some formats where it's like as low as like 25, and like most of them are in between somewhere. But this is the most I think we've seen for.
mhm. And for this format, I was inspired by a different league, Komala Crazy Abilities Draft League, in which you have randomized abilities at the beginning of the draft. And it's kind of framed like a casino, so I wanted to do something like that. So I pushed the concept a little further for this week. So you get a 50 coin budget that you have to spend in different machines. Some of them are abilities, some of them are moves, and some of them are Z Megastone and Z moves, sorry. Um, and so you get to decide how you want to spend that budget, and then once you get your buffs, you can give them to any mon that you want on the available mon roster.
No, this is crazier than I thought. Because well, actually, I can ask some clarifying questions. So if someone bids on the same one, can people win the same prize?
Yes, everybody's gonna get their chance to put their coin wherever they want to.
And I'm guessing the way that it works is that any of these moves you get, you can hack onto them on. It's not like it's not like you need
Yes.
to get okay. Besides, obviously the Z move and thing
Yes.
capabilities, you can't run those unless you win.
Yeah.
So,
The TM slot allows you to use that move on any mon that you want.
I
Same
see.
with the abilities.
So, with what you were saying, that does make the Z, or not the Z move one, but the Mega one, a little more risky. Are you gonna want to use the Pokemon that you got the Mega for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm already looking at this and considering what I want to do. And
There's a
I
lot of
assume that
ways you could go about
you
this.
only get one copy of whatever you get as well. So like if you get one ability, you can only use it on one mon.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. There's definitely some like very like like the things that immediately like draw my eye is obviously the mega like the power of some of the megas. Like you have some like ones that are normally banned in draft that are
Yeah.
allowed. Obviously, that slot is a bit more of like I mean all of them at very least you're spending 20 coins and all of them at the very least are like solid megas. It still is a bit of a gamble of which one you get. I was looking at Z
Definitely.
move, so the fact that your Z move locked is interesting. So you can only have one type Z move, and then there's obviously like the different types of moves you're giving. You have the Let's Go Pikachu Eevee moves that like most people probably don't even know how they work, and then you have all the different like classifier like categories of moves. So potentially like what if you get like a strong priority move on something or a strong setup move on something that like so you have to and then those ones you have to consider like it being on every single slot as well.
Yeah, you can really do some strong combos if you get a great set of moves. You get in like Tins and Lance or something like that. You can do something really cool if you get Water Bubble and like Jet Punch or Water Shuriken.
And also
I
just
think there's a lot of ways you can go about
like
this.
with the sheer amount of mons in this format as well, like you're generally going to be able to, which is good. You're going to be able to figure something out no matter what you get. But it's like, is your opponent going to figure out what you're bringing?
Yes, because they all they're gonna know is the buffs that you got, so they can
Yeah.
try and prepare for those buffs, but not knowing how they're gonna be used precisely is gonna matter.
What I will say, I do think overall like the Pokemon strength in this format looks a little like weaker. I mean, maybe to the recent weeks, but like, uh, but maybe more
Well,
akin to like earlier in the season. But
I mean,
It
The-
makes sense that it is weaker. I
The
mean, it's just
recent
noticeable,
the
so it
recent
is.
weeks we were also playing under Ubers.
That's fair. But yeah, regardless, I do think that there are like a lot of, there's like a
Yeah.
few standout mons, especially if you get like mega stones on them. That like they're like much
Yeah.
stronger than everything else you're seeing here.
I mean, obviously you got your couple of pseudos, you got your starters.
I also think another like interesting thing is like if you get a mega, then your opponent's just gonna prep for said mega. So it's like, do you think it's worth it to invest in that and get a stronger
It's
Pokemon,
true,
but your
yeah.
opponent's gonna prep for it?
Yeah, I'm very
The
curious to see
Megastone
how
doesn't need
many.
much mystery.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how many go for the Z moves or the megas.
I have an idea in my head of like what I'm thinking.
So what are there any mons here? I'd say outside of the pseudos and starters that you think might be a standout that you wouldn't think
Let me
of
look.
immediately.
Also
Gyarados?
exclude megas.
True.
I'm gonna try not to like like
Yeah.
say any mons that I kind of want to use, but I mean not that I wouldn't use, but like I actually think like Starmie looks pretty good. I think
Magnezone
Starmie actually
being
looks pretty
here
good.
is always you
You
gotta
have to
watch
think about
for
that when you
him.
bring steals, yeah.
Yeah.
It's annoying to prep on. I actually think Starmie looks really good here. Dark types overall are not like super strong. Looks like you have like a Shiftry, like Sableye doesn't really care about. You have an Absol
Absol.
and a Crawdon. So like the Starmie seems in a Cacturne. I think the Starmie looks like and Sharpedo. So it's all like not bulky. There's some bulky waters, but I think Starmie's speed also looks really strong in this format. Whereas like last week we saw
Sableye
Starmie
is
was
probably
actually
the only bulky dark type.
Tell you what,
If
so
it's
we saw,
Megas.
it is criminal that there isn't a Sharpedo Mega.
Sharpedo. There's no Mega Sharpedo. And there's also people that might steal a speed boost if they just be like, screw you, Sharpedo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that that mon is something that immediately catches my eye. Looks pretty strong, and I think I noticed it because last week we had it in the format, and last week's format it was really bad in my opinion because it really struggled. But this week I think it will actually probably be pretty good. Anything else stand out to me? Let me look.
We definitely could get a lot of weather games.
I get actually I guess like I mean I'm looking at like steel types for example, like the gap in like the steals from the megas like beside, like the only like niche steel you can maybe use is like Magnezone because I mean it's one of all those
Skarmory.
there. Yeah,
If
Skarmory's there too,
Skarmory
but like
gets
I mean regular
any
Metagross is also one of the
immunity,
best. Like but I'm saying like the steel types are like there's just you're using the good ones that you're like.
I was gonna say that if Skarmory gets any immunity it's usually weak to, it's gonna be such a problem.
Yeah, you are correct about the weather, especially with like some of the abilities that they're offered, like moves. Like that can get out of hand really quickly if someone builds a weather team.
I've also just
And there's
noticed that our main weather boy's been snubbed. We don't
what
got.
is there? I see Ninetales, I see
There's
Pelipper.
no cast form.
Ah,
For all the weather options in this gen.
I'm also like when I look for mons here, I'm trying to look at stuff that like it's like a really good mon that's like a stat stick that I can just slap something onto it. Where compared to something that already has like a strong ability, but like you're also gonna need mons that have strong abilities to make up for the fact that you can't give them to everyone.
Yeah, you're only gonna have like at most you're only gonna have 5 different slots to pull from.
There are a few like fun mons that I see. Like I don't think they're crazy like broken or anything, but I want to use them, so I'm not gonna mention them. I don't think.
No worries. Keep some of those to yourself.
Maybe I can like just influence people to use the mons I want them to use, like mind control.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure other people have done that already. Not mentioning names.
I mean, Azu is probably another like decent one to mention. I mean, there are a lot of Pokemons that can deal with
Yeah,
it, but
definitely
you
could
slap
be.
the right move on it, and it's just like.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the thing is, it already has a strong ability, so you're only looking at moves for that. But like, I'm trying to see if there's anything good that you can actually slap on it. I imagine one of the Let's Go moves is good for it. And it's like, I mean, if you want to upgrade its priority, and actually, it doesn't. Azu doesn't really get anything here. Doesn't really care too much. And now I look at it. Trying to see if there's any like fun mons that you can like that I think would be the best like slap moves. Is there anything that I think is like a bad ability that's like there's no slacking, for example, that you just like I'm gonna get a new ability. Yeah, no, I think there's definitely is gonna be more like there's a lot of options here. I think you're gonna have to like choose the mons you want to use. If there's anything weaker that you think is strong, but I think like looking at the abilities offered, I think some of the bulkier abilities like the defensive machine, like those could have a lot of value if you put them on the right mon. That otherwise is not like a super problematic bulky mon, but now it is.
It's gonna be really interesting to see what people cook up and what they try to go for versus what they
Mm-hmm.
actually get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should be fun to see. Can't wait for it. Any last thoughts from you on the format, Yuta?
Apart from what I just said, I'm really interested to see what people are gonna try to go for versus what they're actually gonna get and how they're gonna exploit
Gambling.
that.
Oh yeah.
I love
Gambling.
gambling.
Following up
That's no problem.
Yuta. Any final words from you, Yuta? Vinny?
Uh, Not really. I'm mostly looking forward to seeing like who ends up in the elim match and how that goes because I think obviously not a lot of options, but also I think that's gonna determine a lot of like what the matchups are next week and how the next week looks with so few people left. But also like how people are gonna bid on this because I could see like a huge variation in strategy and perhaps depending on like how people bid, but also what abilities they end up with. If people like end up with somebody they don't want, how they use it, stuff like that.
It should be really fun to see.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you two for joining me, and thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next week.